So I'm about 90 or 95% of the way through wiring this sucker, and I thought before I'd finish I would show a little bit of the process. This is the motor board. It looks exactly the same as any other game except the wires aren't faded. What I do is after I have the schematic drawn, I'll show a little bit of here in a second, I take one of these motor boards from a game. I take everything but the transformer off, or the motor, and clean it, and then I start laying out things like the relays that I think I'll need. This one came with a 9 bank relay bank, which is what I needed, so that was great. I didn't have to move that. And I stripped all the wires, cut them, and if the relays fit, which they do, I'm just building single player games, so there's not, I mean, I have a lot here. It seems like a lot, but it fits. And then I start putting things like, there's a Jones plug for adjustments to make it specials appear more or less frequently. And I wire up the motor board first, or about as far as I can get. Here's the schematic. This is hand drawn, and it's kind of wrinkled up, folded, because I don't have space to lay it out entirely, but that's my hand writing, and here's the playfield. So once I get the motor board wired as far as I can, which is, I do the coils first, and then I put the playfield on the workbench, and I start from the Jones plugs. So I make a list. Usually before I start anything, I try and imagine how many Jones plugs I'm going to need, but I'm always wrong. I always undershoot it. So when I wire up the motor board, I write this list down. So I write, this is a 10 pin on either side, so it's a 20 pin Jones plug connector. I write the color, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I write 1, 2, 3, what it is. So that when I'm on the playfield, I don't have to reference the motor board. I can just look, okay, the first pin is going to be a green with a yellow, and then I start from the Jones plug, and I wire to wherever it's going to go. And this is a mess right now because I haven't wrapped all the wires into their bundles, which I'll do when it's done, but until that point I have these nice Velcro straps, which comes in one big roll, and I cut it up into smaller strips, and that's nice. Zip ties I'll use in the end, but you know, those aren't adjustable, so I can just put these wherever and take them off. Anyway, so that's how I do it. Then I come to the playfield, I start wiring the coils. Once I get all the coils wired, then I go back to the lights, and I start wiring the lights from the playfield. And then if there are connections that need to be made back onto the motor board, I'll go back and do that. But usually the lights are self-contained to the playfield, except for a couple relays on the bottom board. But for example, there's 7 rollover buttons here, and they'll have lights, but those are all controlled by this bank. So that's why the lights come second, because it's all in the playfield. Anyway, that's pretty much it. It's easier than it looks, honestly. You just go one circuit at a time, and before you know it, you're pretty much done.